Hello everyone, my name is Emily Angel and today's lesson is The Day the Crayons Quit. The objective for today's lesson is students will be able to write a letter to their favorite crayon from Duncan. Now that we've read the story, The Day the Crayons Quit, I would like for you to discuss with a classmate which crayon is your favorite and why. Draw a picture of your favorite crayon after you've discussed with a classmate. Before we begin today's lesson, let's review. Has anyone ever received a letter? Has anyone written a letter before? Why do we write letters? Who can we write letters to? How do we start a letter? How do we end a letter? Now let's get into today's lesson. I chose to write to Pink Crayon. So let's look at what Pink Crayon said to Duncan. Duncan, okay, listen here, kid. You have not used me once in the past year. It's because you think I am a girl's color, isn't it? Speaking of which, please tell your little sister I said thank you for using me to color in her Little Princess coloring book. I think she did a fabulous job of staying inside the lines. Now back to us. Could you please use me sometime to color the occasional pink dinosaur or monster or cowboy? Goodness knows they could use a splash of color. Your unused friend, Pink Crayon. So to write my response letter to Pink Crayon, I used a brainstorm bubble. And here's how I filled it out. So in the center, I put the main purpose of my letter, which is to respond to the Pink Crayon's letter. Then I had an introduction, which I used Dear Pink Crayon. Then I had my message, which Pink Crayon's letter to Duncan was that he wasn't using him enough. So I want my message to say that I promise to use you more to color. Then I had some details from Pink Crayon's letter to Duncan. My details were coloring inside the lines and girls' color. Then I had a conclusion, which I used your friend Duncan. So after I filled out my brainstorming bubbles, I used them to write my letter. And this was my response to Pink Crayon. Dear Pink Crayon, I am sorry I have not used you more in the past year. I do think you are a girl's color, but I promise to use you more. I will tell my sister that you enjoyed coloring in her coloring book. I also agree that you did a good job staying in the lines too. I promise to use you to color more pink dinosaurs, monsters, and cowboys. Your friend, Duncan. So let's use the brainstorm bubbles together and we'll fill out some of the bubbles. So in the center, we're going to have the purpose of our letter. We're going to have an introduction to our letter, the main message of our letter, the details from the crayon's letter, and a conclusion. So what are some introductions that we can use? We can use Dear, your favorite crayon, Hello, your favorite crayon, Good morning, your favorite crayon, and what are some conclusions that we can use? We can use Your friend Duncan, Love Duncan, Regards Duncan. So you guys will fill out the rest of the brainstorm bubbles together. So you will get into your groups and you will discuss how to respond to your favorite crayon, and you will use your brainstorm web to complete your letters. Once you have completed your brainstorm bubbles or webs, then you will use that to write your letter to your favorite crayon. Then you will share your letter with a classmate and discuss why you chose that response to that crayon. And if you would like, you can share your letter with the class. To answer the reflection questions, what did you learn about micro teaching or about teaching and learning through the micro teach experience? And I learned that effective communication is key to teaching and learning. The micro teach experience helps educators practice communicating clearly and effectively. And then something that I will take away from this lesson and use in the future as a teacher is practicing my lesson beforehand. Even though the lesson may be something simple, it's a good idea to go over it and to practice so that nothing unexpected comes up.